Hello flower folks, and welcome to Share Inspirations. Today we're going to learn all about how to grow, harvest, and fertilize anemone. This is Anemone De Caen. This particular variety is called Mr. Fokker anemone, and I promise I'm not kidding. You can Google that up. I only have one color in this. So first things first, I planted them with corms, and I planted them in 2017, so about 2 years ago. These have returned successfully for me for the last 2 years, no problem. I planted them in October. They are cool weather flowers. I have seen a lot of videos on YouTube where they have planted the bulbs, but then there was no follow-up video to show if they grew or not. In my personal experience, the germination rate is half of the planting. So if you're planting 10 bulbs, expect about 5, and that's kind of what my experience has been. And I have purchased the bulbs from a reputable company, and regardless, that's what I have found. Now, one other thing to consider is if you live in a warmer climate like I do, I'm in Southern California, high desert, zone 8B, these would be planted in the fall. They usually become available in the springtime, so what you can do is go ahead and purchase and keep until October or so, and then plant them once the weather cools off for you, and they will start flowering around January timeframe. They've been flowering for me since January, and they will go all the way till it gets super hot, which is going to be around May time frame, late May. They are cut and come again flowers. The more you cut, the more they are going to produce. I grow them outside with no protection. They can also be grown in an unheated hoop house, and the stems would then be longer. That's something that people have shared. It's flower farmers, the ones who grow in the hoop house, the stems are then taller. I use this wonderful scissors, bonsai scissor. I will leave a link below to purchase this. I got it from Amazon, and this is how you make a cut. You go all the way down, and to get the most stem length. This is the perfect time to harvest. They can also be harvested a little bit early, say in this particular scenario right here. This one can also be harvested. What you're doing is you're trying to get the most amount of vase life. If you harvest in this position, you would get about 5 days of vase life. If you do around here, this would give you about 3 days. And but if you do it a full-on flower, open flower, then it would give you about 1 or 2 days. So we're trying to maximize the vase life. Now, the third thing is fertilizing. I personally fertilize this when it's flowering season once a month, and I do this with tea and coffee fertilizer that I keep. I don't use store-bought fertilizers, as you guys have probably watched me do this video about how I fertilize the garden. In this particular scenario, I just take the my saved tea and coffee and just put it around. What we're trying to do is give it phosphorus and nitrogen to give it the green growth, and this will work as a slow release fertilizer. So if you don't have this, you can get a slow release fertilizer. Again, I highly recommend that you don't spend the money, but if you don't want to work the hassle of doing the tea and coffee, keeping the mulch and whatnot, then you can certainly use store-bought. And that was the video, guys. I hope that it added value into your cut flower gardening, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.